one.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Art 2, we are going to illustrate a song for our next project. In Google Classroom, on the assignment, you should see this attached document. I'm just going to go over it with you all in this short video to make sure that everything is clear and understood. So the first questions here we have, it says, do you have a favorite song you like to listen to on repeat? Are you moved by the lyrics or the beat? What song brings out specific emotions for you? So I want you to think about a song that you actually enjoy. It should be something of your choice, something that, as it kind of says, it speaks to you. It's something that you really want to use for your project. If you're really having a hard time thinking of something, I would say just pick one. Ask a friend for some advice, but it should be something that you are interested in doing. This is very open-ended. I want it to be something that you would enjoy making some artwork about. Okay. The second point, choosing a song which is appropriate for school. Okay, and we have some outlined specific requirements for what I mean by that. It may seem like I'm being too strict or too harsh when I say even clean versions of inappropriate songs will not be allowed because the intention or the language of the original will still be implied. Okay, you have to keep in mind that first off, I'm not here to choose your songs or to listen to which songs you've chosen. So it's up to you to have that judgment to be able to decide what is appropriate and what is not. The other thing is last year I still had students who didn't understand what I meant by appropriate. So I want to make sure that I make myself very clear this year. So appropriate for school means that the lyrics contain clean language and do not refer in any way to illegal or immoral behaviors which would conflict with the Catholic faith or the school's mission. Now, the school's mission and vision statements you can actually find online at sjweb.org if you would like to look into that a little bit more specifically. Overall, just think of general context and meaning of your songs and what their messages actually are. For example, I can use this one. There's a song called Take Me to Church, which it sounds like a religious song, but if you actually listen to the meaning of it, it talks about pretty much the complete opposite. So just really keep in mind what it is that your song is talking about. Does it align with Catholic faith? So, please don't reference drugs, violence, sex, things like that. I know a lot of songs do nowadays, but it is up to you to find a song that you still enjoy that also is appropriate for school. And another reason why I'm trying to be so clear on this is that your artwork will be considered for the art show. So if you can't comfortably hand the lyrics to Mr. DiClemente or Sister Susan, you should choose another song. Or if it's inappropriate for a kindergarten or elementary class to hear it, you need to choose another song. Okay. Once again, just making sure it doesn't reference any illegal or immoral behaviors. Okay. Ultimately, you may be able to email me if you have a question about a song. You can also ask the substitute what they think. I may or may not be able to get back to you on email. So when in doubt, if you have any doubts about it, then I would say choose another song, because even a little bit of doubt means that there's something you're having to consider more than you probably should. Okay, so hopefully we won't have any problems with appropriate songs for school. Now, you'll not be allowed to reference any music videos or cover art from the album in your artwork. So I don't want you looking up what has already been done to incorporate into your own work. I want you to think of something original and unique that you think represents what the song is about. So ultimately, you're going to use the chosen song to inspire a drawing, and your drawing must have these following things. I highly suggest that you keep this checklist handy so that way you can check it off as you work on your project. So the first thing is your artwork has to have mostly illustration. I will allow some words, but it has to be very little. And I'll show you a little bit later about what I mean by having too many words or not enough, image, things like that. So mostly illustrations, very few words, if any. If you include no words at all, that would probably be best because then it's more creative about what your imagery is saying and not relying on the words. Your technique contributes to the mood, emotion, or meaning of the song. So if you decide to choose some sort of heavy metal song that might be okay for school, consider what that type of music is trying to communicate. If you're going to paint in very gentle, sweeping brushstrokes, that may not contribute to the mood or emotion of something that's a lot more rough and rugged, which may mean that you might want to think about some dry brush techniques or some very short brushstrokes. How you create your artwork is almost as important as what it is that you're trying to make it look like. That your artwork needs to express your chosen song or music. So not just the technique, but whatever your design or concept is overall should express that chosen song or the music. If you have a song about a breakup, it may not be the best idea to have a very lovey-dovey couple represented in your artwork. That's a very direct example, but just thinking about what is the actual meaning of the song you chose and how are you going to actually express that. Okay, complete and intentional composition. Now, I know the use of positive and negative space or empty space can be very effective, but you need to make sure that if you do decide to use empty space, it is used very purposely, and there's no question or doubt about it that it serves a purpose within the overall image that you've chosen to create. If you decide to have people in your image, make sure that they are rendered completely, unless you have a reason for, maybe they don't have a face. Maybe there's some sort of meaning in the song about not having a face. Then that would make sense. But your overall composition should be complete and finished. It should be a finished artwork. All right, so also complete and intentional style choices. You're not required to do anything realistic. You're not required to do representational. However, you should be able to explain, or I should be able to very easily tell what your intended style was and why, based off of your chosen song. So please don't use these as opportunities to take shortcuts or to think about it as oversimplifying. It is up to you to rise up to the challenge to create something unique and something compelling that will engage us visually. And finally, it should show the complexity level for Art 2 quality work. So yes, you're not required to do representational. You're not required to do any sort of objective work. However, it should reflect at least 2 weeks of time that you've put into it and the complexity level, like your previous knowledge of all the things you've learned so far that I know you're capable of. So once again, don't take shortcuts, really work hard on it. I know most of you are all really good about this, but I just want to make it clear that that is something I will be looking for. Now, for some examples, okay? These are pretty good examples of what one might look like. This is a very open-ended project. I'm not giving you guys any required materials, dimensions, things like that. It's up to you what materials and what size you would like to make your artwork. So the first one, it does have some text in it, but it's not overwhelming to the picture. And the second one has even less text in it. The first one shows fragmentation, has the mirror, but it's not so direct that it's hitting us over the head with it. This very well done, very good technique, application of negative space. It's very purposeful. These last two here, too much text, And this one is way too direct and simple, and it's a poor choice.